Welcome back to the Sly Guy TV. You're watching the Sly Guy, Sly Guy, Sly Guy, Kaboom, Kaboom, Super Kaboom. Oh yeah, Kaboomy, here we go. Where is our music? The music is missing once again. Yes, we apologize for this temporary setback. We are now going to find our music, which is missing. Where's the music? Still trying to find it. Okay, it's coming very soon. We just had a little technical difficulty somewhere. Here we go. Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. Going up. Going large. Time to look at the cards. Time for the cards. Time for the cards. Solkanar, Volkanar. And we're coming back to school. I bet the teachers think we're cool. But now we're going up to stay up late. Gonna call up all the friends and watch the movie till the end. But we'll never go to bed, yeah. Going up for some pizza and beer. She's so fine and the night sky is clear. Coming down and our parents won't know. Going right down to the rock show, rock show. Going out tonight. The only thing that feels so nice. We're walking hand in hand, pretending. Going out tonight. We're gonna have another fight. I know what's going down, pretending. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of a Sly Guy TV with Sly Guy. Why am I showing you all these old cards? These are actually cards I bought way back in 1996. 1996, 1997. These are when these cards were available. Of course, if you go to a neutral grounds now, you are not going to find these cards anywhere else. You might find a few of them in an EDH binder somewhere, or an old school binder, if they do have that available. But aside from that, you will not find these cards in any neutral grounds store, as these are out of print cards. Most of them on the reserve list. What cards are they? You got Stormbind, Brushhopper, the Frost Beast. You know, typical cards. Oh, Cavern Harpy. The Lurin combo piece, if you guys used to play a Lurin back in the day. Well, these are the card pieces of an ancient time. Now, way back then, in 95, 96, I used to play right near my mom's office in a place known as Crazy Cats. It was a shop located near Dad's and Kamayan. This was a place where I used to play Magic the Gathering. They had binders, so you can buy singles. They had packs, so you can get multiple packs from them. You build your deck, and then you play. And the very first deck that I bought and played there was a red-black discard deck that used Hypnotic Specters, Abyssal Specters, Mind Stab Thralls, and it even used Isan Shade. Where is my Isan Shade, by the way? Or Isan Shade, whatever you call it. Yeah, it's somewhere here. It actually used Isan Shade right here. There he is, yeah. I use this guy, and decks that use white had a very, very nightmarish time against him. They could not beat him because he had protection from white. Their only creature removal was Swords to Plowshares. They had to draw one of the two Wrath of Gods they had in their decks in order to get rid of him. He was just absolutely insane. Serra Angels couldn't deal with him, White Knight couldn't deal with him, Savannah Lions couldn't block him, even Urnham the Djinn couldn't handle him because he was a 5/5 and protection from white. So he was one of the most epic creatures that I had back in the day. Now, those were simpler times. Cards weren't that expensive. Cards were not worth 100, 200, 300 mythic rare price cards, they weren't that expensive before. Magic was relatively cheap. The most expensive card back then was, I think, a Balduvian Horde. It was around $10, I think, 500 pesos. That's as expensive as a card would go. Dual lands were around 500 pesos. They weren't that expensive. You had pain lands, which were around 100 pesos each. You had lightning bolts, which were 50. Dark rituals were like, I think, $20 each, 25. I forgot how much they were back then, but everything was cheap. Magic, the Gathering was super cheap. They didn't have really expensive PS5s, which had 4,000 peso games that you had to install and get day one updates, which means that you had to have super fast internet for those games. Back then, we had the Super UFO, which would copy SNES games, and I was playing Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger on my Super UFO way back then. And I had an entire anime collection because anime was very hard to find back then. They didn't have channels like Animax back then or Hero TV. So what we did is we bought VHS tapes of anime at Green Hills, and everything was good. Life was actually really, really good back then. And everything was much simpler. Magic was rampant. Everybody played Magic the Gathering. You can go to school, bring a Magic the Gathering deck. You would find 20 other people who would play, and you could go outside in the schoolyard and you would play all day. Teachers would confiscate Magic decks because they would think that the cards were satanic. And they thought that if you played Magic the Gathering, you were worshipping the devil. So that's why they loved confiscating these cards. But then later on, Magic the Gathering came to the mainstream. People enjoyed it. Yu-Gi-Oh came out, and then they go, it's a kiddie card game. So they then realized that it was a children's card game that people used to play. And by the way, here's one of the cards, one of the reasons why they thought Magic the Gathering was a satanic card game, but it actually isn't. It's basically just a children's card game that people used to play way back in the day. Shops were numerous. I mean, back then, Vero Mall, you had almost 7 shops which sold Magic the Gathering. Shopsville, in the mid 2000s, Shopsville had almost 5 stores that sold Magic the Gathering everywhere. Everyone was selling Magic the Gathering. Glorieta, Robinson, Centris, everywhere you went, shops were selling Magic the Gathering. They were having tournaments. I was joining tournaments. People were having fun. And then after that, the mid 2010s came up. It was 2010, the turn of the century. And then the modern card frame happened. During this time, in mid 2015, people stopped playing Magic the Gathering. The only store that was offering Magic the Gathering now was Neutral Grounds. Neutral Grounds was the only store operating Magic the Gathering. And why did this happen? What made people stop playing? Well, it's because Magic got too expensive. The packs were expensive. The cards became too expensive. Building a deck, you couldn't just build a deck for $40, or you couldn't build a $10 deck anymore. Like back in the day, you could build a deck for 500 pesos or $10. You could just play that janky deck, have tons of fun with your friends. But now, it's not even the case. Cards are super expensive, super hard to find, and people just have a very, very difficult time finding a place to play. Now in Vero Mall, you have like one store that sells Magic the Gathering. Now in Shopsville, you have one store that sells Magic the Gathering. And even that one store, Neutral Grounds in Vero Mall, is always closed for some reason when I go there. They open in the afternoon, but most of the time it's closed now. It's just that Magic is not as profitable as it used to be. The Card Zone, what do you call that place? The place that sold basketball cards and Magic the Gathering in North EDSA. They don't sell Magic the Gathering anymore. In Trinoma, they don't sell Magic the Gathering anymore. Neutral Grounds in Trinoma is gone. They opened it in Centris, but you rarely get people who play anymore. Just a few people play, but that's it. It's not mainstream anymore. Magic the Gathering has lost its mainstream appeal in the Philippines, and it's because of mobile games, it's because of cell phones, it's because of online games. There are a lot more other ways to entertain yourself now. Netflix, Disney Plus, going to the movies, hanging out with friends. Nobody wants to sit down and play a game of Magic anymore. Board games are rampant. Everybody loves playing board game, but they don't play Magic the Gathering anymore. Why? It's because Wizards messed up their product. It became too expensive to play. People who did play Magic the Gathering before are now playing Flesh and Blood. It's just sad that MTG in the Philippines has taken a nosedive. So if you guys are located in the Philippines, comment below. Tell me where you guys are from and where you play Magic the Gathering, and if you have any happy memories of Magic the Gathering in the 1990s, also comment below. Sly Guy TV with the Sly Guy. We are signing off.